Hello everyone, and welcome to my newest deck tech. Today's deck tech is on Sythis, Harvest Hand. But before we get into the video, I just wanted to remind everyone to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Also, if you could go and follow me on twitch.tv/Jarvis_Moonbeam, Twitter and Instagram at Jarvis_Moonbeam, and join my Discord by following the link in the description of the video. But Sythis Harvest Hand is a green and a white, a Selesnya Commander, legendary enchantment creature, nymph, that whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card, and she is a 1/2. So, the card pretty much tells you what you're going to do. You're going enchantress with this. Just loading up on enchantments and things that give you value from enchantments. So, to start, let's go with the enchantment synergies that we have in the deck. First, our Gothian Enchantress is 1 and a green, has Shroud, and whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you draw a card. Destiny Spinner, 1 and a green, creature and enchantment spells you control can't be countered. Mesa Enchantress, 1 white, whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you may draw a card. Satyr Enchanter, 1 a green and a white, whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. Sythis Champion, 2 and a green, has Constellation, which is whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Sythis Champion and draw a card. Archon of Sun's Grace, 2 white, flying lifelink. Pegasus creatures you control have lifelink, and whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white Pegasus creature token with flying. Eidolon of Blossoms, 2 green. Whenever it or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Calx Destiny's Hand, 2 a green and a white, Planeswalker. The +1 is look at the top 4 cards of your library. You reveal an enchantment card from among them and put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. The -3 is exile target creature or enchantment you don't control until target enchantment you control leaves the battlefield. And the -7, you return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Resurgent Belief is a new card from Modern Horizons 2. Has to spend 2 for 1 and a white, and you return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Open the Armory is 1 and a white. Search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Cleansing Meditation, 1 white. Destroy all enchantments. However, if you have Threshold, instead destroy all enchantments, then return to play all cards in your graveyard destroyed this way. And for Threshold, you have to have 7 or more cards in your graveyard. Idyllic Tutor, 2 and a white. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Enlightened Tutor, a single white. Search your library for an artifact card or an enchantment card, reveal that card to all players, shuffle your library, and put the revealed card on top. Sterling Grove, a green and a white. Other enchantments you control have Shroud. This is a reprint in Modern Horizons 2. And then for a generic and sacrificing it, you can search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, shuffle, and put it on top. Enchantress's Presence, 2 and a green. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. Sigil of the Empty Throne, 3 white. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Sphere of Safety, 4 and a white. Creatures can't attack you or planeswalker you control unless their controller pays X for each of those creatures, where X is the number of enchantments you control. Starfield of Nyx, 4 and a white. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. As long as you control 5 or more enchantments, each other non-aura enchantment control is a creature in addition to its other types and has base power and toughness equal to its converted mana cost. Now, those are all the synergies we have. Now, here are all the other enchantments that we have in the deck. Dryad of the Elysian Grove, 2 and a green. You may play an additional land on each of your turns, and lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. Heliod, God of the Sun, 3 and a white. Indestructible, as long as your devotion to white is less than 5. Heliod isn't a creature. Other creatures you control have vigilance. And for 2 white, you put a 2/1 white cleric enchantment creature token onto the battlefield. Karametra, God of Harvest, 3 a green and a white. Indestructible, as long as your devotion to green and white is less than 7. Karametra isn't a creature. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a forest or plains card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Nyx Bloom Ancient, 4 green. Trample, if you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead. Authority of the Consuls is a single white. Creatures your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain 1 life. Virginian is a single green. Whenever an opponent plays a land, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Exploration is a single green. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Blind Obedience, 1 and a white, has Extort. Because the hybrid Orzhov symbol is a reminder text, it does not count against color identity. But Extort means whenever you cast a spell, you may pay either a white or a black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. And artifacts and creatures your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped. Darksteel Mutation is 1 and a white. You enchant creature. Enchanted creature is an insect artifact creature with base power and toughness 0-1, has indestructible, and it loses all other abilities, card types, and creature types. Kendra's Transformation is 1 and a green. It's also an enchant creature aura that when Kendra's Transformation enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a green elk creature with base power and toughness 3-3. Luminarch Ascension, 1 and a white. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if you didn't lose life this turn, you may put a quest counter on Luminarch Ascension. And then for 1 and a white, put a 4/4 white angel creature token with a flying onto the battlefield. Activate this ability only if Luminarch Ascension has 4 or more quest counters on it. Sylvan Library, 1 and a green. At the beginning of your draw step, you may draw 2 additional cards. If you do, choose 2 cards in your hand drawn this turn. For each of those cards, put 4 life, pay 4 life, or put the card on top of your library. Ghostly Prison is 2 and a white. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature they control that's attacking you. Song of the Dryads is 2 and a green. Enchant Permanent. Enchant Permanent is a colorless forest land. Bear Umbra, 2 green. Enchant creature. When an enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has whenever this creature attacks, untap all lands you control. It also gives a Tone of Armor, which means if the creature is destroyed, you remove all damage and destroy the aura instead. Smothering Tithe, 3 and a white. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2. If that player doesn't, you create a treasure. Mirari's Wake, 3 a green and a white. Got a reprint in Modern Horizons 2 as well. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of any type that land produced. Privileged Position, 2 Selesnya. Other permanents you control have hexproof. Zendikar Resurgent, 5 green. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any land type that land produced. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Now, we're going to go into our good stuff cards. Good stuff cards are cards that don't necessarily fit the synergy of the deck, but they're needed to go and make your deck function. Esper Sentinel is a new card from Modern Horizons 2. It's a single white. Then whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card unless that player pays X, where X is Esper Sentinel's power. Dranith Magistrate is 1 and a white. Your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. Eternal Witness is 1 green. When it comes into play, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Path to Exile is a single white. Exile target creature. Its controller may search your library for a basic land. Swords to Plowshares is a single white. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. Veil of Summer, a single green. Draw a card if opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn. Spells you control can't be countered this turn. You and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and from black until end of turn. Worldly Tutor is a single green. Search your library for a creature card and reveal that card. Shuffle your library, then put the card on top of it. Eladamri's Call is a green and a white. Search your library for a creature card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Farseek, 1 and a green. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. 3 Visits is 1 and a green. Search your library for a forest card. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Balged Recovery is 2 and a green. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. It also can be played as a land in the form of Balged Sanctuary. It enters tapped, and it can tap for a green mana. Teferi's Protection is 2 and a white. Until your next turn, your life total can't change, and you gain protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. Exile Teferi's Protection. Force of Vigor, 2 green. If it's not your turn, you may exile a green card from your hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. We can destroy up to 2 artifacts and or enchantments. Austere Command, 4 white, choose to destroy all artifacts, all enchantments, all creatures with CMC 3 or less, or all creatures with CMC 4 or greater. Phyrexian Rebirth, 4 green, destroy all creatures, then create an XX colorless horror artifact creature token, where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way. Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots. Chroma's Memorial is 7 generic mana. Creatures you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and protection from black and from red. Now the mana base, including both mana rocks and lands. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Unity. Those are the only 3 mana rocks I'm playing, mostly because I want to get mana from lands and from ramping. Simply because I don't believe I want to use a lot of artifacts in an enchantress build, and card draw should help me hit my land drops and my mana doublers. But the lands are Bountiful Promenade, Branchloft Pathway, and the reverse of Boulderloft Pathway, Fabled Passage, Hall of Heliod's Generosity, Path of Ancestry, Prismatic Vista, Castle Ardenvale, Reliquary Tower, Scavenger Grounds, Sunpetal Grove, Temple Garden, Temple of Plenty, Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, which is the new card from Modern Horizons 2, where each land is a forest in addition to its other land types, and Command Tower. I also am playing a total of 21 basics in this deck, 11 of which are forest, and 10 of which are plains. Finally, the win cons. We have 3 different ways to win in this deck. The first is the Walking Ballista Heliod's Sun Crown combo. If you aren't aware of how this works, you play Walking Ballista, you have to go and play Walking Ballista with a minimum of 2 counters. So you have to pay at least 4 mana into it. And the reason why is because you remove a counter from it and deals 1 damage to any target. If you then also go and pay the 1 and a white for the lifelink on Heliod, every time you remove the counter, it deals a damage, you put the counter back on Walking Ballista. And that's infinite damage that you're able to go and do to all the players at the table. Sanctum Weaver, 1 in a green, and Staff of Domination. Sanctum Weaver, 1 in green, is a new card from Modern Horizons 2. It is a enchantment dryad that you tap it and add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of enchantments you control. So you have to control at least 5 enchantments. Shouldn't be too hard in an enchantress deck, considering we're playing over 20 regular enchantments, not including our enchantment creatures. And Heliod, God of the Sun, could also make enchantment creatures. So as long as you control 5 enchantments, Sanctum Weaver being one of them, you could pay 3 mana to untap Sanctum Weaver, tap it, and then pay 1 mana to untap Staff of Domination. So it takes 4 mana to untap a creature and Staff of Domination, so you need at least 5, so you're generating 1 mana every time. After you've generated infinite mana, you draw your deck until you find one of your other win cons, or if you already have a creature-based board state built up, a Chroma's Memorial to trample over and have haste, because we are playing a Chroma's Memorial mostly for the haste portion. Then you also have Siona, Captain of the Pylies, or Pylias. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It's 1 a green and a white. When she enters, you look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal an aura card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Whenever an aura you control becomes attached to a creature you control, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Now, with Shielded by Faith, 1 white, you enchant creature, enchanted creature has indestructible, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you may attach Shielded by Faith to that creature. So, with Siona and Shielded by Faith, you make infinite 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. Now, to be able to swing out right away, you would need a Chroma's Memorial on the battlefield, because that does gain haste, give everything haste. Otherwise, you do have to wait until it comes back to your turn. But those are the 3 main ways to win in this deck. That's the entire deck tech. Please let me know what you thought of it, changes you would make, cards you would put in, cards you would take out. Also, as a reminder, please like, comment, and subscribe. But until next time, have a great one. See ya.